We went to a singles ministry here at Eastern Star in Indianapolis, and it was very eye-opening. They talked about being single, they talked about being divorced, and they talked about being married. So we're just going to do a quick little recap for you guys.
I discovered I don't feel like I'm ready for a relationship. What made me come to that conclusion is the person who was divorced. She talks about how she never dealt with her childhood trauma, and that's the reason why her marriage essentially failed. And as I was listening to more as she was speaking, others and whatever have you, I realized I too are holding on to trauma that I'm not trying to let go, which is the death of my mother. I know I need counseling. I know I need it sooner rather than later, but when it comes down to my mother, I feel like, and I know this may sound crazy, but I honestly feel like I don't want to lose that pain, because once I lose that pain, it's almost like I'm giving up on her memory, or I'm pretty much trying to move past that in a way of forgetting about her existence. And so I think that's the reason why, and I know that's the reason why I just do not want to go to counseling. And so because of that, coming here really helped me realize I'm not ready to move into a relationship, because there's a good chance that I'm going to bring that trauma or that pain with me. And on top of that, that man signed up for all of me, not half. So if I can't give him all of me, then I should not want to even give him a piece of me.
And something that they kept saying, the singles, the married, and the divorcee, is seek God first. And if you haven't given that completely to God, there is no way that you're going to be able to give that to a man. And he has to be able to understand what you've been through in order to understand how to best love you. So I definitely think that, like you said, they talked a lot about counseling during marriage, but also individual counseling before and after. And it's so taboo, if that's the right word, in our culture, and even as millennials, it's taboo. You don't hear a lot of millennials saying that they're going to counseling. And if they do, it's a secret. They don't want nobody to know, because everyone is trying to be strong. Everyone is trying to be something that they're not. And we are so afraid to open up, because we've been hurt so many times when we open up to the wrong people. But in remembering that God's placed these people in our lives for a reason, so that we can so they can feed into us, I think that really helps set them apart from maybe somebody that we consider to be a friend that we're sharing that information with.
I think for me, it's like you said, it's very important to seek God first when you're going through something like this. And I don't want to. Just to be straight and blunt with it and transparent, I don't want to, because it's crazy, because it's that time is it's almost been 10 years. It's been about 8, and I promise it's like God's voice getting louder and louder and say, this is what you need to do, this is what you need to do. And I'm fighting. It's like, I don't want to do it. I mean, and it's so crazy, because like, I know you know what's best for me, but I don't want to do it.
It's like a parent telling you what's best. Coming from someone like, and it's a little bit different. It's not, it's not the same thing, but it is very similar. Like not wanting to give up a relationship that I was holding on to for 10 years because of a fantasy that I wanted. And God telling me time and time again that that's not what he had for me. And all I'm doing is delaying the purpose that God has on my life. So in thinking about it that way, in saying, at some point, God is going to force you to your knees to give that up. And the quicker you do it, the better it's going to be for you, because at the end, you know what I'm saying?
And I mean, like I said, I know what I need to do, and I know I need to heal from it, because I know that it makes me more of a bitter person, and there's certain time of the year, especially this month, which is October, I have a hard time and it's so crazy, because like I lash out on people, like I'm short-tempered, there's a lot going on, build up inside, a lot of anger around this time, that I don't even realize that is coming on because of that, because I suppressed that feeling so deep that, you know, eventually I realized today is the day, and that's the reason why I'm so angry, so bitter, and I don't like that feeling. But like I said, I'm so afraid to let it go, because it's almost like I'm letting go of my mother forever, like almost like I'm saying I don't need you anymore. I don't, like, I'm trying to erase her from my memory. And I think that is so sad, and I wish that I can just say I surrender.
Yes.
I give up. I know, and like I love what you said. It's like God's gonna delay that. I know. I know.
But okay, so if you think about it like this, is you said something that says a lot. You said letting go of that pain makes it feel like you're letting go of the memories of your mother, and those memories are always going to be there. And when she's looking down on you from heaven, like, does she want her daughter to be feeling this pain every month in October, every October, every December, every May? Does she want her to feel like this? And your mama is amazing. I'm sorry. She's amazing. She's sweet. Like, I remember talking to her with tears in her eyes, talking about you. You know, how much she loved you. And Jasmine, you the only one up here with her. You need to watch out for her. And she was just crying over you. Like, your mother loves you so much that the last thing that she would want for you is for you to hurt.
Yeah.
So maybe not doing it for you because you don't want to, but doing it for her because of what she would want you to do.
Yeah, I know. And, you know, I'm really leaning towards, and I guess this segment is less about, you know,
it's all about what happened in there and what's happening in here. It all goes together. It
is. And I mean, that's why I'm so glad we actually came, because we wasn't gonna come.
We wasn't.
And then we decided to go ahead because our plans has changed. We were supposed to go somewhere else. But I mean, I think that's the reason why I got what Oprah would say, an aha moment, where it's like it just hit me out of nowhere. And I honestly thought to myself, you know, and we were sitting there, and they brought up the person who got the divorce. In my mind, I'm thinking, well, I guess I could tune out because
and then you slowly started sitting up, like, I was like, wait a minute, do I need to sit up too?
I know, like, all right,
maybe I should pay attention.
Yeah, like, for real, because in your mind I'm thinking, okay, never been married, I'm not in a relationship, so in my mind I'm thinking I could definitely get something out of someone who's been married, because it's like preparation to what they already have, and they is going to teach us how to get there, how to maintain it. Got it. Listen to the single, because I'm single. And then we got to the divorce. I swear it's like a light switch. Like, okay, I'm tapped out. There's nothing she can teach me because I've never been married. I'm not in a relationship. So and it's like I learned the most from that person. I learned the most from her failure. You know, really, I learned the most from her mistakes in her marriage, and her pretty much the fact that her heart was broken, and that's prior to the divorce. Her heart was shattered because of childhood trauma that she wasn't, you know, talking out with somebody in therapy, and she was trying to pick up these little pieces and carry it in her hand into a relationship, instead of why it's still shattered, instead of waiting until that whole, you know, it was all put back together so she can hand someone all of the pieces, or a whole piece, instead of giving them small bits and expect them to find a way to place them all together.
I'm going to challenge how you said that. And I'm going to challenge it like this. Now, instead of her, she took those bits and pieces, like you said, from her childhood and tried to piece it together in a relationship that she was not ready for. Instead of taking those bits and pieces to God and saying, God, show me how to mend these before I can open up to somebody else. Right? Right? When you're the same.
Yeah, but like I said, it's so funny because like I really know what I need to do, but it's like doing it. Like you said, it's taboo not only in Black culture, but in young millennials. As far as the millennial culture, nobody wants to go to therapy because everybody feels like you're weak if you go to therapy. You know, in the Black culture, we feel like we go to church, we don't go to therapy.
Pray about it.
Yeah, you pray about it, and it's like God is leading you to that therapist. No, but you know.
But we forget that faith without works is dead.
Yes. Seek ye first. Like, seek counsel today, you know. And, you know, it's like, so it's not like I'm fearful because, like, I feel like a weak. It's just that what comes with it is like, I don't want to cry.
She doesn't want to open it up.
I don't want to open up that wound. But every year I'm just picking at the scab and I'm thinking, and it's so crazy because when I'm thinking it's healing, there's something to remind me. It's like, nah, nah, you still picking at it. It's just that you're not picking as much as you used to.
Mm-hmm.
So, anything else that...
Yes. I say this, and this is for anybody listening too, is once you take that step and actually listen to what God is telling you to do, no matter how hard it is, no matter how scared you are, no matter how much is going to come out that you don't want to come out, once you take that step, it will be the best step you ever taken in your life. It's going to be, he's going to challenge you. But now for me, I don't know. I don't feel like I learned a lot, to be honest. I don't feel like I learned a lot, and maybe I'm just not remembering because I was hungry. But and that really could be it. I was definitely hungry. But one thing that I'm thinking about is I feel like I got a lot of confirmation that it's okay to date. And the reason why I say that is because for me, having children, they had a segment where they were talking about singles with children and you know, how to go about that. And it wasn't in depth, but it kind of gave me confirmation that it is okay to go ahead and date. It's okay to try to see what else is out there. It's okay to take your time. It's okay to be open and honest. And I definitely appreciated that. And not every person that you meet, of course, they're not going to be the one. And even though they have 101 characteristics that you just love, that connection could be for something else. So, I don't know. I feel like I got confirmation there.
Yeah. And, you know, not only that, you know, I feel like I like how Janelle was talking about how take your time. Don't feel like you have to rush to allow your kids to meet the person that you're talking to. You know, like there's no time frame on that.
There's not. Take your time.
You know, I know a lot of women like to put timelines on certain things, and it's like certain things just not. You just have to let it naturally progress the way it's supposed to. Yeah. When they was talking about how, I think it was a divorced lady. Apparently I got a lot from her.
Her energy was amazing. Yeah. So I can see that.
And I think because she was super transparent.
Very.
Like, what do you think about when she was talking about how, you know, she didn't have the family structure that she wanted, and she realized the only reason why, like her husband did, 2-parent households, been together for years, like 20 plus years, 30 plus years. She come from a broken home. How do you feel about her saying she feels as if she only got into that relationship because of she wanted a family, that family structure? Because I know a lot of people out there who actually will get in a relationship because, and they're not dating that person, they're dating that person to be a part of family that they so desired, long to desire.
I definitely related to that, and I related to it because my mother and father were together for 10 years, and they divorced when I was 2 years old. And when I got with my ex, we were together for 10 years, and we separated when my youngest was 2 years old. And, you know, his family is so amazing. His family is so welcoming, and my family is the same way, but his family's so big, and they always have Thanksgiving together and birthday parties. They're always together, and I wanted that. He is great. He's a great person. Like, we have great conversation. He was my friend, and his family's amazing, and I wanted that. But then in actuality, because I wasn't listening to God, I was reciprocating, or I was replicating what my childhood was. He loved music. My father loved music. You know, music was his passion. My father, you know, his passion was music. And the fact that my childhood was so similar to what I repeated, that's one thing that made me want to be completely different after I realized that after 10 years. But it made me want to be completely different with my daughters and show them what a healthy relationship looks like, because I don't want my 2 girls to repeat that. And I feel like that's what she was saying. You know, she repeated what she's seen in her household. Her mom was always yelling at her stepdad, so that's how she talked to her husband. And we unintentionally repeat what we see in our childhood. And if it's not addressed, when God is telling us, and when we have people that care about us and love us that are telling us this, then it becomes detrimental.
Yeah.
And what she said was so, she said something that hit me so hard when she said that God told her, if you don't correct this, you are going to hurt generations, or you're going to kill generations of people. And it is that. If I don't fix this relationship, I'm going to kill any possibility of my daughters being able to love in a healthy relationship, because they're going to see what I did.
Yep, they're going to mimic that.
Yep.
And it's crazy that you said it, because I honestly never pay attention to a correlation between your father and your kids' father, and how closely related.
It's crazy
that the two have intertwined. Like,
it wasn't until we were going through what we were going through and we separated, and at that 10-year mark, he told me that he was thinking about moving to Atlanta. That it all came back and hit me, because my father, when they separated, my father moved to Louisville, Kentucky, and I never seen my dad, except for maybe once or twice a year. And of course, he called and he sent letters, but it put me back in that spot. And that was 2 years ago. And that's when I realized 2 years ago that I had, even though I forgave my father, I still had a lot of issues that were going through my mind and my heart that I didn't deal with, that I wasn't aware of.
Yeah, it's crazy how, like, when we come in to learn how, to be proudly single.
Yeah.
And we kind of like, okay, the single people's going to represent. Yeah,
because y'all got it together.
Yeah, and it is like, you learn the most for someone who's so, it's far from where you are right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I just love her, because it's like, I love what she also said about destroying generations to come, and how you need to really look deep inside yourself before you actually jump into a relationship, and see if you going into it, because you're trying to get something out of it more than just, a actual marriage, or are you trying to go into trying to get someone to complete you? Yeah. Because you got to be completed by yourself. You got to be whole by yourself.
You got to be.
It's like, and then I love what, Janelle said, which is the junior pastor's wife, how, go to counseling by yourself.
Before.
Yeah. Like, go to counseling, and don't just stop going just because you're married. Continue to go, because when she talks about how when she went for one thing, it revealed so much more.
Yes.
And I think the thing is, a lot of people don't do is prepare for your husband now, prepare for your wife now. That doesn't mean that you're just because I'm preparing doesn't mean that I think I'm ready, but I still need to get ready.
Yeah.
Just how you wake up in the morning, get ready to go to work or just start your day, period. You get up, you brush your teeth, you comb your hair, you put your wig on, and your shirt, your pants, the whole nine. You pray, like, you get into this routine to get ready for one particular thing in your life, which is most people is work. Which literally you need to do that same work, when it comes down to preparing for your partner. Put your heart back together from a broken relationship, whether it is from your family relationship or past relationship. Work to put your heart back together. Work to get yourself mentally right by going to counseling if you feel like you really need counseling. If you even think you don't, it's a good idea to still go, because you don't even know if you really do or don't until you actually go. You know what I mean? Be prepared to put aside your pride. Start trying to be patient by really understanding and seeking advice from wiser people than yourself, and have accountability partner. Get all that stuff in line.
Be vulnerable.
Be vulnerable. Yeah.
But at the same time, protect your heart.
Very much so.
Yep.
You definitely have to protect your heart.
But also protect your heart in the terms of soul ties. When you have sex with somebody that you're not in a relationship with, or that you're in a relationship with that you're not married with, you are giving them a piece of you. And if that relationship doesn't work, it breaks you down. So you're not guarding every part of you if you give a piece of you up. So practice celibacy.
This whole car situation is a little different, but we had to come on here in raw fashion while it was still fresh on our mind, coming to you. And we just hope and pray that this somehow helps someone out there the way, you know, it helped us when we actually went to the crew meeting here at Eastern Star Church.
Leave the link to Eastern Star in the description box so that you can access the church, their resources such as the crew. Definitely fellowshipping is important, and when you're fellowshipping with people who are also like-minded, it allows you the opportunity to learn more about yourself, to learn more about God, and connect with people who may have already went through the same situations that you have went through or you're about to experience.
Anywho, until next time, people.